All right, Reginald, just remember, be polite, don't speak unless spoken to, and whatever you do, don't touch anything on the altar.
Polite, silent, and no touchy-touchy. Got it. Wait, what if she tries to touch me?
Then you scream like a man and you run.
Who dares to summon me during Judge Judy reruns?
Reginald Buford Montgomery III, esteemed ghoul, part-time YouTube personality, and collector of limited edition Taco Bell sausages.
We seek the Book of Withering Flesh, the Grimoire that binds the realms.
You want that cursed monstrosity? Ha! You've got to make it yourself. Human skin is out of stock.
Oof, I was afraid you'd say that. I just moisturized. Great. From seance to arts and crafts. How terrifyingly budget-friendly.
All right, what's up everybody? So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a witch's grimoire, and I want to go through the design process a little bit so you can follow along visually as we create this prop. So, like always, I'm sitting over here in the garage the other day and I'm trying to brainstorm ideas to create this grimoire. And I was thinking about different ideas and researching different books that have already been out, like the Necronomicon or, the book from Hocus Pocus, and trying to get some ideas. Now, I wanted it to be creepier than the Hocus Pocus build. And the Necronomicon is cool, but it kind of lacks a little bit of gruesome depth to it. So for this design, I'm going to create this kind of frowny, ugly face that's basically like a pulled skin around the book, and that's going to be our hardcover. So I want to create that really pulled skin with stitching in it, this ugly looking face, maybe with some whited out eyes or something, and I want it all to be like pieced together, kind of like a Leatherface mask kind of deal, right? So in order to do that, I think we should go over the material list so we know what we're going to need to create this prop. Now, first and foremost, we're going to be using cardboard as the basis for our book. You can use an old book if you want to just go ahead and do that and eliminate this process of it. But I wanted to create mine with a custom size because I wanted it to be kind of oversized, right? A little bit larger. And then we're going to be using a little bit of 5mm craft foam to create the binding along the edge of the book. And then I'll go ahead and add some liquid latex. So we're definitely going to need liquid latex for this, and cotton balls, as well as paper towels to create that skin texture. Now we're going to be actually building and sculpting with the cotton balls and latex itself. So I've done this in the past here on the channel, but a long time ago. So I wanted to kind of give you guys a refresher on it because this also works for prosthetics for your face, if you guys want to do your own masks, all that kind of good stuff. So this is a good way to learn how to sculpt with liquid latex and cotton balls to create a really gruesome and cool look. So we're going to be needing those things. I'm definitely going to be using some of those, the monster crazy eyes that we've been making. If you guys haven't seen my tutorial on how I make those, I'll leave a link for that video down in the description below. But these are going to be whited out, so we're not going to have any people on this one. So it's basically just like ping pong balls that we're going to be using to create the eyes. We're also going to be needing various acrylic paints. So like flesh tones, reds, maybe a little bit of blues or purples just to create like a bruising effect and stuff like that. And then we're going to be using maybe some papers on the inside, just regular paper that we can burn and kind of add like stains and ink stains and paint stains or blood stains to it to make it look like an old book. Now, I'm not going to have every page made for this. This is going to be a standalone prop, but I do want it to open and close and maybe have one page of something written in there. So we'll probably do a little bit of hand drawing in this as well, but to try to keep it as authentic as possible. So this is going to be a really fun build. I'm super excited about this one. I hope you guys are too. But without any further ado, why don't we get in that witchy spirit, cast some spells, because we're about to go wild with it. All right, to start off our build today, I'm just going to be grabbing a razor blade here so we so we can go ahead and carve up the size of the book we want. And this stuff here is actually it's like a foam padding they put in like Amazon packages and stuff like that, I guess, when you're transporting a specific delicate items. So I'm just taking some sheets of that and then just some scrap cardboard, and I wanted to cut my book down so it was a little bit bigger, like an oversized grimoire, so it's really nice when it stands out for your display. And now I'm just taking some of this tacky adhesive and spraying it on the inside of the cover of the book here so I can attach those foam pieces, because the idea behind this is to have like one single page, but it's like a faux book. I can always add more pages later on, but I wanted this to feel like a nice big open book that had a lot of pages to it, so I'm just foaming it here. Now I'm also using some, this is like the stuff you use when you're painting furniture or whatever and you need to tape off certain areas. But it's basically just paper, so you can use paper bag, you can use, you know, anything you need to make this work. I just wanted something that felt like old parchment paper, so it feels like a legitimate grimoire. And I'm just using my spray adhesive here to attach it to the actual book. I needed 3 sheets for mine because these are smaller pieces, but it worked out pretty well in the end. And now to create, like, I wanted to create like pages that were coming out of the book, because it's not a factory cut book, it's a handmade gross kind of thing. So I'm cutting little strips of cardboard here that I'm going to glue onto the edge of the book where the paper would be here, just with some hot glue. And then I'm going to stick those into place, and then I'll be cutting more strips of this parchment paper that I was using here to kind of weave in between these. Now there are probably different and better ways you can do this, but for what I was doing, I wanted something hardy that was going to stay, and I thought this would be a really good way to make these faux pages. Now in hindsight, I would probably use hot glue to attach those pages as well, but it worked out pretty well. And then here I'm taking my 5mm craft foam, and I'm going to be cutting these to the size of the book, and I just want one like thick piece. This is probably cut at about 4 or 5 inches wide along the length of the book, so I can create that cool binding, because I want it to feel like a thick leather wrap binding on the edge there. And I'm just going to hot glue that into place. And then I'll be going back in with like a screwdriver later on to kind of wear it out and scrape it up. Now I'm taking my lighter here and a water bottle. If you guys do that, make sure that you're in a well ventilated area and you're controlled with that. So I only do a little bit of burning at a time and then immediately go back in with my water bottle just to douse that flame, because this book will go up very fast. If you guys remember the pirate map I did a couple of years ago, if you've been following me that long, I kind of cooked the entire pirate map because that flame got out of control. So now here, I'm just going to be sketching in my design. Now again, I said I wanted like this kind of big, ugly, frowny face. So I'm just going to follow that with my pencil, and then I'll go back in with a marker just to darken all the lines there so I can see them a lot easier. And then I took just one of those little spooky eyes you see sitting on the desk there, and I cut it in half, and then I'm going to hot glue it into place so the eyes kind of pop out more naturally and just looks a little bit better. And now to get to our liquid latex, all I'm going to be doing is taking a bunch of cotton balls, and I went ahead and rolled them out, and then I'm going to dip those in, and that's going to be my sculpting material. Now you can always opt to use like a foam clay, and that'll work just as well, and you'll probably get a little bit more detail out of it because this stuff is super tacky, and you know, every time I put down a piece of cotton, I gotta like dry out my fingers and kind of crumble some of this stuff off. So it's a little bit of a process, and you got to take your time with it and be patient because it's not like a traditional clay. But I love the rubbery texture, that latex texture. Once it's finished, it feels like skin. It's so cool. It made it that much cooler. Now once I get the cotton ball section done, I'll be taking a heat gun just to kind of help rapid dry that. If you guys don't have a heat gun, you can always use a hair dryer just to help dry that stuff because this is pretty thick. I also left it out in the sun. And then I just dried that with my heat gun as well, just to kind of speed that up. And then I'll be going in with shreds of paper towel and then painting the liquid latex over the actual book itself, and then putting sheets of paper towel to create that skin. And that's what we're kind of looking for. So, and I did about maybe 2 or 3 layers of this stuff. And it took me about a bottle of liquid latex, in case you were wondering. But it's a really cool technique, and it really made this feel so authentic. Now make sure you saturate that paper towel completely. But I think we need to take a little break for our sponsors. Are you tired of summoning ancient demons with a soggy paperback?
Oh, the horror! The binding is so basic!
Then get your claws on the Grimoire of Ghoulish Generosity. It's cursed, it's creepy, it's paper mache. I made it myself with glue and rage! And now you, yes, you, can fuel more monstrous mayhem by clicking that super thanks Buy Me a Coffee or Ko-Fi link below.
They're ceremonial and scented.
But wait, there's more. Every donation comes with a 100% guarantee of good Halloween karma and the eternal gratitude of one crusty old undead co-host. Operators are standing by, and by operators, we mean ghosts. Okay, to jump into our next step here, I just ended up using my projector to project my little incantation on here, and then some of the core design elements for this page, and I'm just going to be tracing this with like a pen and a little Sharpie marker just to make sure it's really on there. But I wanted this to feel hand-drawn, so the projector was the best bet. It just made it a lot easier for me to get these symbols, and then also to get them really even and nice. And now that I have them all traced on there, I'm just going back in with my marker, kind of like filling in the dark areas, and then I'll be taking some vine charcoal and different layers of paint and stuff to really make this feel like an authentic handmade piece or spell. This is where you can get really, into it and kind of do your own designs here, where you make it feel real. So I'm just tracing around kind of the design here and then just blending it out with my finger so it feels really handmade. This inner page work here was probably one of my favorite things to do. Once I started getting to the character and putting the ink blots in there, it just started to feel so cool. I was getting ideas as I was going and just kind of pushing that a little bit. And the idea here is just to get a lot of water on your brush and then just kind of throw it at the book to get that splattered effect. I hope you guys give this project a go. It was so much fun to make. Now here, because I was doing skin, I didn't want to put a layer of black because that would just make it a lot harder to get into all the nooks and crannies. So I just did a skin tone, and then I'm going back in with like a really vibrant red color here, just to start working in some of the scars and the detail in the face, the eyes. And then I'll go back in with a super deep color of red and brown and a lot of black. And that'll be my secondary layer, and that's where I can really start to push in the depth around the eyes and inside the mouth, and then also in those scars as well. If you guys are wondering what kind of airbrush I'm using, this is the Swallowtail Barbados Rex from the Gallery brand. If you guys want to get one of your own, I'll leave a link down in the description. Now that's all dry, I'm just going to go back in with some staples here, and I'm pushing them in by hand. I thought this gave it such a cool level of detail and just made it feel more real with these staples all over the scars here. But this book is pretty much done. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more creepy skin projects, let me know down in the comment section below. But until next time, happy haunting. And there it is, one cursed grimoire, handmade with love, and several regrettable glue gun burns.
You've crafted the vessel, but can you survive what lies within?
Let's see here. Chapter 1. Summoning a demon with debt collection experience. Oh no!
Reggie, no! That's a chapter of consequences!
Krishna Vato! Did I just order a dozen pizzas in Latin?
The book is bound to him now. Good luck. He'll need it.
Great. He's possessed again. That's the third time this month.
Ah, what's this? The Invocation of Whispers. By ash and wax, by rust and nail, by hidden draft and creepy gale, I call the ones that hum and wait, behind the bench, beneath the grate. Let sawdust rise and shadows bend. Let every echo find its end. Unlock the knots, unseal the grave. Speak now, O voice, without a name. Come forth through screw and splintered frame, through whisper sparks and phantom flame. I do not knock, I do not flee. The workshop waits and speaks through me. Ah, what's happening? What's happening? Oh my god! Lightning scares me! Ah! Oh crap! What did I just do?